Capelin are a small, silvery, pelagic fish widely distributed throughout the North Atlantic and found in great abundance off the coast of Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland's capelin are highly prized because they're generally larger and contain a higher percentage of roe than European capelin. Each year, usually during late June and early July, the inshore capelin migration occurs when billions of these tiny fish invade the coves and bays for their annual spawning. Stock sizes vary from year to year, depending on spawning success, survival rates, and changing environmental conditions, for example, water temperature. During most of the year, male and female capelin are indistinguishable. About a month before the spawning season, however, external sexual characteristics develop on the male. Spawning ridges down the sides and large fins give the males a robust appearance compared to the more delicate, smooth female. In the late 1970s, a new fishery geared to producing whole, frozen, roe-bearing capelin for the Japanese market was established in Newfoundland and Labrador. Quotas and season opening and closing dates for this brief but lucrative fishery are established by the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. Capelin are taken by small trap vessels using fixed gear and longliners using purse seines. On the west coast of the province, a few large seiners take most of the capelin. Prior to the start of the inshore capelin fishery, processing plant representatives negotiate price contracts with Japanese buyers and raw material prices with unions. It is a good practice for skippers to obtain capelin buyer specifications from processors. Once a successful catch is made, each skipper takes a sample and checks it for percentage of usable female, while the rest of the catch swims freely in the nets. Usable capelin meet minimum size, feed, and roe standards as determined by buyer specifications. A rough indication of the percentage of usable female in the catch may be determined on board without weighing. To do this, fill a container completely with mixed capelin. Then sort and collect usable females and return them to the same container. A half-full container, for example, would indicate approximately 50% female. The percentage of feed and an indication of the percentage of mature roe are two of the important quality checks taken on board the vessel. Size measurements and spent females are also noted. If the capelin are suitable, they are loaded on board with brailers or pumps. In Newfoundland, small seiners and trap vessels are fortunate in that they can often unload their capelin soon after catching at nearby processing plants. In order to keep quality high, plants purchase only as much capelin as they can efficiently process. It is important that capelin be chilled rapidly in order to keep quality high and reduce spoilage. Refrigerated seawater or chilled seawater is the best method for cooling capelin and reducing pressure. However, direct icing is an alternative. Every effort should be made to chill and cover the catch from the live state. High standards of sanitation and personal hygiene are also important on board. There are Japanese technicians at most processing plants. As soon as the capelin are delivered to the plant, the inspectors conduct quality evaluations of representative samples from each catch. capelin freshness is of paramount importance. Top quality, roe-bearing female capelin have a firm, elastic texture, a mild characteristic odor, and a bright silvery sheen on the sides. Lower quality capelin are softer, have less sheen, and a stronger odor. Once the freshness meets their specifications, a sample of 100 female capelin is taken for weighing and further inspection. First, the count or the number of female capelin per kilogram is determined. For example, if 1 kilogram of female roe-bearing capelin consists of 40 capelin, the count is 40. The size is very important to the marketplace, which wants large size, smaller count capelin. Then, the percentage of feed is determined. There are several types of feed found in capelin, including black feed, red feed, and roe feed. Red feed, the most common, is a plankton eaten by the fish during their inshore migration. Once inshore, red feed levels in the stomach gradually drop and leave the capelin completely. However, roe feed may be found in some capelin towards the end of the season. Harvesting capelin too early in the season can result in high feed levels, contributing to broken bellies, especially in female capelin which are not fresh. To determine the percentage of feed, the sample of roe-bearing females had the head removed by pinching through the neck area. The stomach comes out attached to the head. Japanese specifications will usually tolerate 10% feed, depending on the individual buyer. If buyers' feed specifications are greatly exceeded, the whole catch may be rejected. When standards are slightly exceeded, price reductions may be made. Japanese buyers assign ratings to feed levels. For example, 3 female capelin with small amounts of feed in the stomach, or 2 female capelin with moderate amounts, is equivalent to 1 female with a stomach full. Next, the percentage of roe is determined. The percentage of roe is very important to Japanese buyers. Whole capelin that have roe levels below 15% are considered to be immature. Mature roe is granular and may be picked up in one whole piece. Overmature roe is soft and watery, common in females near the end of the season. When the roe is extracted from the female capelin sample, mature roe is separated from the overmature roe. The amount of overmature roe is noted. High levels are not acceptable. The total amount of roe is weighed, and the percentage roe is determined. The processing plant's quality control personnel carry out several inspections on representative samples from each catch. Once the buyer's quality standards are met and prices are agreed upon, unloading begins. First, seawater from an approved source is added to the catch to make it more fluid. Then, brails or pumps are used to transfer the capelin from the boat into insulated containers containing chilled seawater. Chilled seawater is by far the best method of cooling capelin, keeping it at low temperature, preventing texture damage, and maintaining quality. However, capelin shouldn't be held for more than 1/2 day or so before processing. Chilled seawater is made by mixing 1 part seawater to 1 part ice. Prepare a pre-measured quantity for each container, normally 1/3 full, shortly before unloading begins. Fresh capelin should always be transported in chilled seawater, either in insulated containers or in insulated tanker trucks. Capelin processing is carried out at licensed plants, where the objective is fast production of consistently top-quality frozen products. Good supervision, skilled employees, and modern processing equipment help achieve these goals. At the start of processing, forklifts unload the mixed capelin into water hoppers, which convey the raw material to the processing area. During processing, the usable row-bearing female capelin are separated from the mixed catch. Capelin processing equipment and layout vary from plant to plant. There are several types of mechanical capelin sorters, which separate the larger males from the smaller females on the basis of width. Mixed capelin are continually conveyed onto the separator. Stationary guides direct the capelin over a sloping, vibrating bed of tracks, aided by water sprays. The adjustable tracks are slightly further apart down the length of the machine toward the outlet end. First, extra small female capelin fall through the tracks close to the inlet and are removed from the production area by a water flume. Next, small and medium, then large-size female capelin fall through onto 2 female inspection belts. Finer grading by subdividing belts is also possible. The main flow of males, which also contains some large females and rejects, is directed to a male inspection belt, where the large females are recovered. The males can be further processed. Skilled employees working on female inspection conveyor belts remove the following: 1, male, which are considered defective in female capelin packs; 2, undersized female; 3, spent female that have already spawned; and 4, broken, damaged, or blemished females. Current government regulations require that all containers labeled female capelin contain not less than 95% non-defective female capelin by weight. Regulations are reviewed yearly with industry, and amendments can be made. When inspection has been effective, top-quality marketable female capelin leave the female inspection belts, where they are collected in pans or cartons. Current provincial government regulations require that the actual weight of contents not exceed the net weight indicated on the container by more than 10%. The open end of the polybag liner is fitted over the bottom of the packaging funnel. The scale operator dumps the pre-weighed product down the funnel into the bag liner, instantly filling the carton. In the dry storage area, cartons are constantly assembled and supplied to the packaging area. Filled cartons are quickly transferred to movable freezing racks. At this stage, production data is recorded from each vessel's catch. Products should be frozen as soon as possible after production to avoid an increase in temperature and a reduction in quality. Most capelin are frozen in air blast freezers. In the blast freezer, air cooled to minus 40 degrees Celsius is circulated rapidly around the product. Contact plate freezers are also used. A government regulatory requirement states that the thermal center of each block of capelin must be frozen to minus 21 degrees Celsius or colder. In the air blast freezer, capelin normally achieve this temperature in 12 to 18 hours. The printed master carton containing 2 frozen packs identifies the name and address of the processor, product type, net weight, processing date, and capelin size, etc. The product should be placed in master cartons and moved into the cold storage without delay in order to prevent increases in temperature. The cold storage area containing the frozen capelin must be kept at a temperature of minus 26 degrees Celsius or colder so the frozen product will maintain a minimum frozen temperature of minus 21 degrees Celsius. Japanese technicians conduct extensive quality evaluation of the packaged product before and after freezing. The Inspection Service Branch of Fisheries and Oceans conduct similar quality checks and issue Canadian certificates of origin and hygiene. They also monitor landing sites, vessel discharge, in-plant handling, and maintain daily landing reports. Once a refrigerated truckload of frozen capelin has been produced, it is loaded quickly, documents are filed, and it is transported to reefer vessels. These vessels are strategically located throughout the province for collecting frozen capelin. At dockside, provincial and federal inspection officers carry out spot checks from refrigerated trucks and select representative samples. Product weights and frozen temperatures are key elements of the inspection. A minimum frozen thermal center temperature of minus 15 degrees Celsius is acceptable at dockside from carriers. Provincial fisheries ensures regulations related to icing, storage temperature, and labeling are met. They also produce daily production reports for the whole industry. Worldwide Japanese imports range between 25 to 35,000 metric tons per year. Newfoundland is the major supplier, outselling Norway, Iceland, and the former USSR. Annual sales from this province have reached as high as $75 million. Newfoundland also supplies small quantities of this product to the Taiwanese market. Frozen capelin are then transported to Japan, a journey that normally takes about a month. In Japan, a major secondary processing industry employs thousands of people, processing imported roe-bearing female capelin into a semi-dry product called shishamo. Semi-dry capelin are generally found in consumer packs in supermarkets and in large retail packs in bars and Japanese-style restaurants. The capelin are usually broiled or barbecued and eaten as a snack with beer or sake. Since the start of the roe-bearing female capelin fishery, huge quantities of male capelin were used for fish meal production, as fertilizer, or were simply discarded. Sizable markets exist for frozen male capelin for bait and zoo food. However, production was limited because freezing space was required for production of the more lucrative female capelin. Canned, smoked, and sauce products have been produced from male capelin. Markets for these products are being further developed. Research into the utilization of male capelin for pet food and aquacultural feed is ongoing. The lower capelin landings in the early 1990s has freed up freezer space, which led to an increase in the production of frozen male capelin. Licensed processors and fishers can produce lightly salted and dried male capelin for African and other markets. The Pentecostal Assemblies of Newfoundland and the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, are spearheading the marketing of this product. The procedure, which involves salting, drying, and storage, is available from the field offices of provincial fisheries. High-quality capelin that is free of feed should be used. First, the capelin are washed in approved seawater and drained. Then, 7 pounds of coarse fishery salt is thoroughly mixed with each 100 pounds of male capelin in a watertight container. This mixture is stirred periodically over 4 to 6 hours. Next, the capelin are washed with approved seawater to remove excess salt. The capelin is now ready for drying. Capelin may be dried mechanically indoors or sun-dried, a procedure which normally takes 1 to 2 weeks. The best drying conditions are warm, moderate winds with low humidity. Drying should be done in an area away from roads, dust, fumes, and pets. Capelin should be kept at least 1 foot from the ground, and good sanitary practices should be followed. During initial drying, the capelin are put on skivers or spread in a single layer on flakes. The capelin cannot be in contact with each other during the first stage, as this could cause spoilage. Under good conditions, most drying occurs during the first day. The capelin require at least several hours of good drying during the initial stage to provide adequate preservation before the product has to be moved inside. It can be covered with polyethylene sheeting in case the weather turns poor. After 2 days of good drying, the capelin are removed and placed in shallow layers on drying flakes for an additional 24 hours. The capelin should be rotated during this drying stage. The partially dried capelin are then stored in piles on poly sheeting for up to a week in a clean, well-ventilated storage facility. The product must be stirred periodically. During this period, moisture on the inside works its way to the surface of the capelin. Finally, they are placed outside in piles on flakes for an additional 36 hours, again working or stirring the capelin. Outdoor drying may be very inconsistent, requiring much judgment on the part of the producer. The product can spoil if it is not handled properly or if the weather is poor. Once the capelin has been sun-dried, individuals deliver their product to collecting plants. Here, the dried capelin are examined for overall quality. Processor specifications usually require a final moisture content between 24 and 28% and a salt content between 10 and 12% to ensure that the product will be stable during transportation and storage. However, some processors have dryers and may be willing to complete the final drying themselves. Many buyers hold the dried capelin in a clean, dry place for several days to ensure it is sufficiently dried before packaging. Dried male capelin meeting the specifications are then packaged for weight adjustment, coated, and stored in a cool, ventilated area. The product must be inspected and approved by DFO within 30 days before it is exported. Dried male capelin is an excellent source of protein, which has been well accepted in the African and other markets. There are many opportunities for Newfoundlanders and Labradorians in capelin harvesting and production. We can maximize on these opportunities through using quality practices and producing quality products.